There was another undercover police officer in the Audubon ballroom at the time Malcolm X was shot, along with 9 other FBI informants.
That's my point, though. They wanted to wrap the case up quickly so that more questions wouldn't be asked, right?
Exactly.
You don't want to be embarrassed as the New York PD that you're out here not catching the guy who killed Malcolm X, and 2, the longer the case is open, the more questions are being asked.
Yeah, especially why you're surveilling this guy, what information you have on this guy.
Especially when you talk about the FBI, right? There are... just the way the internet operates, there's like the internet that we use, and then there's the dark web.
Yeah.
That's how I see the FBI as. There's like the surface level FBI.
Yeah.
The pencil pushers and like the people who are involved in the politics of it and things like this. Yeah. And then there's like the underbelly of the FBI that they don't talk about and they don't want questions being asked about it.
Exactly.
And I think the longer you have a case open like this, and the more questions being asked, the more exposure it gives to that side of the FBI that they don't really want to talk about.
Right. And even with them reopening right now, a lot of these people are dead, like the Toyota shotgun guy and the...
But he passed away in 2009.
No, Thomas Johnson passed away in 2009. The guy that they accused of being the shotgun man who maintained his innocence. The guy, the community activist, who they said was the actual shooter, passed away in 2018.
I see.
And the 3 other ones that Dangerous Hair named.
So you think they were waiting for that guy to pass away?
No, the documentary wanted... It was... The guy who made the documentary who killed Malcolm X wanted to interview him for a long time, but didn't. Mm-hmm. And then he finally did, and then he got the news the guy died. Right as he was going to go ask him some questions. He found out he passed away.
Coincidence?
There is no such thing as coincidence, according to Gibbs.
According to Gibbs.
And the 3 other ones that Dangerous Hair named as assassins, the actual assassins, are also supposedly deceased. Now, they open up the case again. They go, a lot of people are asking why? Because there's still one innocent guy that wants to clear his name.
Is he still in prison?
No, he's not. He got paroled back in the 80s. But he's still alive. He's still with us. And hearing his story and looking at the evidence, I believe him. And I want him to get his name cleared.
That's why the Innocence Project is involved?
Yeah, that's why, to clear that guy's name. Yeah. And to clear Thomas Johnson's name, too. Posthumously.
Just for the listeners who don't know what the Innocence Project is, it's just a non-profit organization of like lawyers and former attorneys and things like this, essentially working to clear people's name post-death, during their incarceration, and then after incarceration to clear their names and stuff.
They got the Central Park 5. They were the ones spearheading in the Central Park 5. Acquitted, the same ones that our current president still believes did it, even though the evidence proves he did not do it.
Was that like their first big case or something?
No, they had done other ones too. Yeah. I think the Innocence Project had started, it might have started in Chicago. I gotta double check. Or were inspired by a Chicago Innocence Project group.
Got it.
But yeah, they were able to get the Central Park 5 off, and they were trying to get the Norman Butler exonerated.
So they're involved in this, so there's obviously some weight behind the questions raised in this documentary, yeah?
Yeah, there's a lot. And even before this documentary was made, they were still trying to get Norman Butler off and exonerated. But this documentary backs it up a little bit more.
Founded in 1992 in New York.
Oh, New York, okay.
The Innocence Project, yeah.
Yeah. So... yeah, the documentary raises a lot of questions that needs answers to. And if this is true, you're not going to get justice for it. but at least you'll get an innocent man's name cleared. That's the main thing. I mean, even though in the documentary he says he doesn't believe anything's going to happen, he's been saying this for years and years, and no one believes him. Just hopefully to get his name cleared. That's what open up this investigation is just saying, just to clear his name. That would be the most important thing.
Yeah, not only that, but also bring some, obviously some relief and answer some unanswered questions to the family.
Yeah.
Of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
He has children that are still alive.
Yeah.
So.
And, yeah, there's many victims in this, other than Malcolm X. His children, his wife, before she passed, and these two men, Norman Butler and Thomas Johnson, and are victims too, and untold millions of people who could have used Malcolm X's leadership during turbulent times. It was all taken because a group of people decided his voice was too powerful and wanted to silence him. So, not gonna. Anything else to add?
No, I mean, I just have a little bit more. I just have some more questions about the documentary itself. So, it's all on Netflix.
All 6 parts are on Netflix. They're about 45 minutes a piece. They look at Malcolm's life, the assassination, the assassins, files that were declassified. They talk to the detectives, the police officers that's still living, the assistant DA, people who knew the supposed assassin. Your eyes kind of went buggy.
Listen to this. In 1995, the Justice Department announced the following of Malcolm's daughter. Okay?
Yeah.
This would be,
was she trying to kill Farrakhan? Yeah, you didn't know that?
A federal grand jury indicted Kabila Shabazz, the daughter of the late Malcolm X. She was charged with using a telephone and traveling interstate in the course of hiring another person to murder Minister Louis Farrakhan. Mm-hmm. Wow. Really?
Yeah.
What, she was convinced that he had something
to do with it? There's still people convinced that he had something to do with it.
The government eventually accepted a plea bargain. Kabila believed Farrakhan bore responsibility for her dad's death.
Yeah.
However, History.com, that's where this information is from, concludes that Farrakhan, quote, most likely was not directly involved in the plot. However, the FBI tapes show that Kabila was an unwilling co-conspirator to an assassination plot to kill Farrakhan. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely didn't let it go. 1995.
Yeah.
20 years, 30 years after.
Yeah. Yeah. She was convinced. She has particular issues. Even her son, like her son, set a fire that ended up killing Dr. Betty Shabazz, Malcolm's widow, in '97, and he ended up getting killed in Mexico.
In a bar fight, it says.
In a bar fight, yeah.
In 2013.
2013, yeah.
So this family has had some tragedy.
Yeah, it's a lot of tragedy happened to him, so.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Again, we're not going to get too into this because there's a lot into it, but if you haven't seen the documentary, Who Killed Malcolm X, is on Netflix right now. Watch the documentary and you can make your own judgments of that or continue doing your own research. We might come back to this at a later date.
I mean, if there's like an open investigation into it in New York, there's obviously going to be some more stuff revealed.
Yeah.
We should have a follow-up.
Yeah, it will definitely be a follow-up to this. And more pronounced history of it. But yeah, this is something I even the movie Malcolm X kind of alluded to it.
Yeah.
A little bit. Because there's a scene in there where you see 5 guys just loading up guns and shit. And about to, like, these guys are going to clearly kill Malcolm X. And even in the scene in which Malcolm X is assassinated in the film, there's 5 guys in there. There's clearly 5 guys. So apparently this is a very open secret in there. But the government and the New York, even the government's form contradicts New York City's investigation, them saying that it's 3, New York City's investigation, FBI, from declassified information that we have now through the Freedom of Information Act, acknowledges that there were 5.
Mm-hmm.
But there was only 3 convicted.
Mm-hmm.
So even if these 3 guys were the 3 guys that get it,
There's
you're missing 2 guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay. Yeah, I'd love to have a follow-up episode to this.
Yeah, and we will come back to this at a later date. Yeah, thanks, Ogul.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, a lot of these subjects, when we do them, they're more educational to me than like me just. I'm like learning as we talk about it on the podcast, which I think brings a unique perspective. You know, just like the listener, I'm learning as well. So the questions that I have are like immediate. They're not questions that have been lingering in my mind. It's just my immediate response, like, you know. So.
Yeah. Oh my God! I almost forgot one of the most important things he brought up in the documentary.
Malcolm X is still alive.
Yeah, like, oh my God, it's a miracle! I do believe.
And here he is.
Yeah. Joining our show.
There's a part of the documentary which is really cool, and not cool, but it just tells you the New York City's New York City DA's and New York City Police Department's investigation. They go back to an old 1983 New York City show that was on. I believe it was called This Is It. It was predominantly to an African American audience, and they brought back people who knew Malcolm X. This show was during 1983. People knew Malcolm X and people who were there on that day he was assassinated in the Ogul Ballroom. And like at the time, the Ogul Ballroom was run down and no one went in there. Now it's like I think a museum and something else. I got to check what it is again. But back then it was run down and abandoned, and they ended up bringing people who hadn't been in the Ogul Ballroom since that day in '63, and this is '83, and like they ended up cleaning up the place and try to look like it looked when Malcolm X was assassinated. Seats by in front of the stage and stuff like that, and they bring out this podium from the basement. At the time, they had in a basement. They bring out this podium, and everyone's looking at the podium, and the guy is hosting the show's looking at it too. It's like, where'd you get this podium? It was like, oh, it was downstairs in the basement. And in the podium were bullet holes.
No. It
was the same damn podium that Malcolm X was standing in, and they fucking kept it there in the Ogul Ballroom, and then took it down to the basement. So it tells you that the lack of fucking investigation that the police department and the DA, they did know about it. How could you miss it? Because even in pictures of the assassination, because there was a photographer there taking pictures after he was assassinated, you could clearly see the fucking podium beside him with bullet holes. And the same podium they ended up finding down in a basement in 1983 and bringing up for this news show is the same fucking podium. They see the same fucking bullet holes.
That's a part of the crime scene.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Exactly. That's what tells you a lot.
That'd be like finding the Lincoln that Kennedy got assassinated in a junkyard one day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like someone just sitting there in a junkyard with bullet holes in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, was that able to, like, did that shed any light on the investigation?
No. I don't know where the podium is now. Maybe it's still kept it at. Some of us would probably
back
throw
in
it
the
away.
Back in the basement.
Yeah, well, we put it back in the basement, but they